Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about something that's really been pissing me off. There are two YouTubers, one I have unsubscribed for obvious reasons, and the other I'm still subscribing for another reason. Now, today as you look into the title of the video, that's been going on with two YouTubers that I know very well on, not personally, but content-wise. Now, I've subscribed to two of these YouTubers for a while, especially the one that I'm going to be talking about that I'm no longer subscribed to. Now, the person I am no longer subscribed to goes by the user That Creepy Reading. Now, I mention him first before we get to the other one because this is kind of more of a personal one for me. And I actually remember That Creepy Reading from many years ago when actually I used to be in high school still, because I remember he used to narrate for a lot of videos known by the YouTuber Tats Tops Videos. I still subscribe to Tats Tops Videos. I know his channel doesn't really blow up like it used to anymore, but I still highly recommend, if you like top countdowns of games or urban legends or creepypastas, go check them out. They're awesome. That Creepy Reading, on the other hand, is not. And I'm going to go explaining why. Now, the other YouTuber that I'm subscribed to still, that I legitimately feel extremely sorry for, despite not being a perfect person at all, because nobody is, but at least it's somewhat of a person that's grown despite the content that he talks about, and that is the YouTuber Plagued Moth. Now, Plagued Moth has already been a controversial YouTuber from day one, especially when he went from talking a few videos. From what I remember, the first video I kind of watched, his earliest, was when he talked about Trisha Paytas before, and he went from talking about like basic stuff like that to talking about like gore videos and really disturbing shit online and what goes on in the world. That's how I really got into subscribing Plague Moth, because he talked about this stuff a lot. Now, granted, yes, his earlier works were kind of immature, like 2000s immaturity vibes, but honestly, I grew up on South Park, so I guess I've kind of gotten used to that sense of humor a little bit over the years. I'm not like part of this woke culture that everybody's into. But now I'm talking about Plague Moth is because not even 2 weeks ago, he has been harassed online drastically from the YouTuber That Creepy Reading. Now, I took a bunch of screenshots because this whole drama, I first saw this whole entire drama back in Twitter, and Twitter's already a shithole as it is. I took so many screenshots. I'm not gonna really talk over it, but I'm just gonna show you the stuff that Creepy Reading and Plague Moth have argued about here. Now, you saw them, and at first, I thought it was just two grown-ass men. I mean, the guy, Plague Moth, does identify as gender fluid, so I don't really have anything else to say about that, but that's besides the point. That's not even the main thing in my opinion. That's a whole nother conversation for another day. The main focus is really on that creepy reading, no joke, making accusations that Plague Moth was selling gore and owning Daisy's destruction. I don't even know what the fuck to say. I've been to Plague Moth's Patreon. Yes, there was a point where in the past where he did react to things on his Patreon where some of the gore was uncensored, but not every one of it. He was mainly just doing commentary and reacting to what he thought about the video. Granted, that's not always the best way to put it, but especially certain disturbing, fucked up videos online. Now, I will say he has grown past being with that whole immature South Park humor, kind of, when he does do commentary and reactions to gore for the most part, I will say. So, he has grown fit, and plus, there were a couple videos that he did get wrong, and he did remove it. In fact, one of the families of one of his older videos said there was some misinformation, and he actually had to do a redo of that one. So, that's very respectful, and I will say that's a much better video than how he started with the other one. But again, I'm bringing it out because that creepy reading is coming out to this guy all because he didn't like his content. No, I'm not even joking. And listen, I'm not proud of my past commentary videos either. I mean, I will admit there's some things I should have not said online, but if I'm willing to admit I'm wrong at certain things, then that creepy reading needs to admit it too, because oh boy, just looking at all of those screenshots that I saw, I was legitimately disgusted. And I thought to myself, is this the same guy that I subscribed to for so long? Actually, back in 2018, when I first subscribed to him because I got into Tats Top's videos. Is this the same man that is making false accusations on another YouTuber because he didn't like his content? I really couldn't believe it at first when I saw it. But then it got a lot worse when I looked into the deeper situation of the whole Plague Moth versus that creepy reading drama. It got so much worse because turns out that creepy readings fans and people who followed him have harassed Plagued Moth besides that creepy reading so much, no joke, that his family got evicted. I am not even kidding. It got so bad that Plague Moth actually had to do a GoFundMe of his daughter's insulin funds because I'm not sure if that's his youngest daughter, but I know it's one of his youngest kids because he is a dad. His daughter, who's probably not even 5 from what I remember. If I could be wrong, Plague Moth, if you're watching this, correct me for that. Besides the point, his daughter is a type 1 diabetic that needs to have an insulin pump. It's a lifetime thing for her. So let me get this straight, that creepy reading. You do not like this man's content. You are falsely accusing him of him selling gore. And worst of all, falsely accusing him of having and knowing about Daisy's destruction. A personal collection that he has, which has been proven that he does not own. To the point where his family is almost homeless. And not only that, I had to also mention Plague Moth's Patreon is not there anymore. But anyways, I subscribed to his subscribe account, and I'm supporting him there. When I hear another YouTuber is harassing and making accusations on a person so much that they're being evicted and that they are desperate need for money to keep their family over their head, a roof over their head. That's where I fucking draw the line. And also, when I saw 2 of the videos of both of these YouTubers or streams, the first stream I saw was Plague Moss stream. He was talking about the entire situation, and he was probably about, I think, an hour and 8 minutes stream. Yes, that's a long time to be talking about what the whole deal was, but he went to great details and just went straight there. Now, I've had people complain to me I ramble a lot, but let me tell you, you could say I ramble way less than what that creepy reading did with his, get this, 3-hour and 15-minute stream. Again, I'm not even joking. So when I went to go see Plague Moss first stream, I legitimately felt awful to my stomach because I felt guilty for even subscribing to that creepy reading at the beginning throughout my entire I would say 4 or 5 years of subscribing to Guy. And what really got me when I was watching Plague Moss stream was during the middle of the stream is when he was welling up and he actually had to go to the back and he was sobbing and crying.
I have merch, but I think I'm going to do limited merch. I've been just trying to be my best me, man. For all of you who have been here for a long time, though, think about how the content has evolved and matured over time. We went from being pretty fucking exploitive, yeah, to full on just making documentaries and shit. I miss, like, and I hate it because every single day, you know, my wife is basically my assistant, and she has to fucking see this and mitigate it too. She has to see all the terrible things people get to fucking say about her, my family, for no goddamn reason. And all this shit. And ever since I came out as gender fluid, it's been non-fucking stop invalidating and just nonsense like this. This motherfucker is the reason that my Patreon got taken down. He's the reason that Patreon is now basically trying to defraud over $10,000 to the patrons who cannot cancel their fucking subscription. That's bullshit. If he wants to play like a fucking, like, this kind of mess, that's fine, because I have evidence to support that he's engaging in targeted harassment, which is against Patreon's terms of services as well as YouTube's. He's encouraging others to harass me and my family by making false statements. He's inadvertently calling me a pedophile and like a fucking monster, man. My wife is fucking everything. Like, I can't. Like, the only thing... I do apologize for exposing you all to that drama instead of the content. I know that you guys got a lot of eye rolls when you see my shit come up. I know it. But I feel like it validates what's going on because it's like screaming to an empty room when you're constantly being attacked like this and your family's always under attack. Why are my kids and my wife and shit involved ever? That's not fair to them. What did my daughter do? She's 6 years old. What did she ever do? Is it her fault she was fucking born a diabetic? Is it her fault she went into a coma? Almost went into a fucking coma? Part of the reason I keep this shit going is for my family. I work for my family. And for my audience and just for the fucking validation and the love because it's awesome. I vow to never let my daughter pay for insulin her whole life. And I want to stand by that. It's fucking shit. Fuck. We almost lost our kid in 2021 or 2020, whatever. And that's when this all began. This shit started when she was in ICU way back then and has not stopped a day since. Hold on. I'm sorry this is happening.
Let's not talk about Noodle though, because it's a very sore subject. I mean, it'll be okay. I know.
While his wife was comforting him because of how much this whole, not even drama, but these false accusations have come upon him. I legitimately made a comment on that video saying how much I felt so sorry about it, and I just wanted to give him a big hug after that. That legitimately got to me, and the fact that that creepy reading was making these accusations on Twitter and fighting against him back and forth, which they both were doing, by the way, but either way, back and forth to what was going on at the false accusations of selling gore and selling and having CP. Are you proud of yourself, that creepy reading, to the point where a grown-ass man was literally sobbing on stream? He almost had to stop the stream because he was that upset that his family was going to be homeless because of what has happened. Oh, and speaking of that, I watched that creepy reading stream. That was 3 hours and 15 minutes, by the way. He didn't even really show the entire kabobble, as you may put it, what was going on. All he just showed was part of the screenshots and part of what was on screen that benefited on saying, see, I'm right, I told you so, here, this, and here's that. Mainly what he wanted to show his audience, and that's disgusting. He didn't even really discuss the entire thing that was going on. And he has accidentally even slipped up on his stream saying that he didn't want his family harassed. No, it's just talking about Plague Moth, but he doesn't deserve the platform, this and that. Like, he went off at a tangent. Do you want people to unsubscribe to Plague Moth, or do you want him to just not have a platform at all? Because you're not being straightforward with that at all. Oh, and that stream I mentioned about that Plague Moth, I love the fact that that creepy reading probably only showed, what, maybe only 1/10 of it? And he even admitted on the stream that he didn't really watch the entire stream.
18 plus content creator. There are mods in a server that know there are minors there. Why? If you make 18 plus content, why are you even engaging with these people in a community where you're like gathering up all the people that support you? Why are there minors supporting you at all? Like, that's like I'm not even accusing you of anything. I'm just curious why. I'm not gonna watch all of this, and we're probably gonna skip a little bit, but
Hey, it's me, Plague Moth, the guy who just sells gore to kids outside. He posted some screenshots that were kind of shady, but once he messaged them to somebody who publicized them, it was shown that their age is old and it's a bunch of out-of-context bait, kind of like Jimmy J. But all in all, he has these supposed links that are allegedly from my Discord, so I figured I would let you guys into my Discord today and show you what is in there.
Listen to a
now,
lie
I'm not
about
some of
his
the adult
fucking
threads, but we'll go into that in a
super
minute.
secret
But there's
video.
never been gore here. Is that he was e-begging shortly before this, and he got really upset when he found out how much money I was making.
Not true. I know he makes money. It's not about the amount. It's about how he's making it. 2, I wasn't e-begging. I was having computer problems, and I tweeted about them, and that's it. Moff said something about TV, know something about, I don't know about that. I'm 2 seconds away from choking this dumbass Black Knight. I want him, he says, just leave me alone. I want him to so badly. I want him to stop selling gore so badly. I don't really take pleasure in taking away this guy's income, but I only do so to protect everyone else from being lumped in with him. Daisy's destruction is literally classified as CP, so if he has access to that, he's literally committing a federal crime. I'm not educated enough to know that for real. What we got here is Plague Moth's bitch shoot. God, I cannot work these components for my life. I'm gonna be so bad. But yeah, this is Plague Moth's bitch shoot. We'll play the video. You're not gonna see anything bad. Just maybe some of the a little risque. This is like what you see if you were to find the bit shoot without like, you know, anything else. This is like every video that's on it, as you can tell. There's like no way that I can access uncensored gore at all by through this bit shoot. At least not unless if you're given the rights. This isn't something that happened a year ago. This is something he sold me last year, 2022, November 27th. I had access to this without talking to anyone, without any age verification, for 2 months. I would be glad. I mean, I'm a scrawny guy. I'm not gonna fucking win most fights. I'll gladly get my ass kicked by a stranger committing a crime if it means that they're not fucking with me on Twitter, trying to make me feel uncomfortable in my own house for weeks. You know, it's the anticipation that really gets me. And the fact is that the Sunny TM message gave me an anxiety attack. I had to have one of my good friends calm me down. It's not cool. I shouldn't have had gone through that. I tried to fight it all alone, and honestly, I probably looked a little stupid. I probably said some things I regret. I'd have to look at every tweet and figure that out. And yeah, it was like hell. For a while, I started to question myself. Like, do I live in Bizarro world?
And I'm sure he probably watched the entire stream after he was done with his video. But other than that, you didn't mention that he was sobbing and that he was crying during the middle of it because he was so stressed out that he didn't know where his family was going to live at because of all what you did. And that creepy reading, I had to ask you, what were you thinking? If you think that he had child pornography and if he was selling gore like you were claiming it, why didn't you cyber tip to the FBI first? Instead, you posted it on Twitter first and made a whole rant about it after, arguing with other people. And you can say that Plague Moth's cult is like getting to you, or you can make excuses about your mental health not being well, which, by the way, that's what you did with your stream. That creepy reading. That the rest of the stream was just you rambling for most of the part about your mental health, how you were not doing well. You know who's not doing well? Plagued Moth, okay? He's not doing well because you almost got his family homeless because they were evicted for where they were living at, and to the point where they needed money for their child's insulin pump, who is a type 1 diabetic. Are you fucking proud of yourself for that? Quick note, I forgot to mention this in my video while I was editing this here. I forgot to mention that creepy reading is also on the autism spectrum, and he uses it as an excuse of not doing well. Like, really? Let me tell you, I've got autism myself, and I'm not going around letting my fans harass others for content I don't like, and to the point where they're almost being homeless and hurting their entire family emotionally and physically. I'm not doing that. So, and what's really funny too is that creepy reading said he was also going to delete Twitter after that, and what do you know, his Twitter is still there. Yeah, removing your Twitter app on your phone or whatever, that doesn't mean you delete it. And to Plague Moth, you did the right thing by blocking him, by the way. Because to me, that makes me want not only not support you anymore, it's done after that. Even though you didn't do it to me, it's done. That is beyond despicable. And you said don't send hate to Plague Moth, but you have even slipped down and encouraged it. So what is it? And it's funny that you titled your stream, Plague Moth Needs to Stop. I got something to tell you, that creepy reading. You need to stop. And it's funny that you made 2 videos in the past of YouTubers that need to stop before, when you should have fucking looked at yourself first. And granted, yes, those YouTubers on those 2 videos, most of them were rightfully called out, but that's not saying much. And to me, the best way to describe you is a narcissistic hypocrite. That's the best way to describe you. At worst, you're a manipulative asshole that got a family almost homeless, almost on the streets because of all the false legal accusations like this. And it's so funny that on the stream also you accused him saying, hey, if he takes me to court, blah blah blah, whatever, he can take my channel. He doesn't watch your channel. I doubt he watched your channel after what you did. And there's 2 other videos I left out in the description that talks about against that creepy reading, because I think it says perfectly exactly how I felt about what that creepy reading has done.
Maybe he is guilty of that. But again, if that's your subjective opinion, you can say, I don't like the way he talked about this stuff in the past, but it doesn't make it a cancelable thing. All right? When we really want to go after someone to have them canceled, that's when we do go after the EDPs, the Austin Jones of the internet, people actually maliciously hurting children. A guy who you disagree with how he handles very touchy subject, that's great. I completely understand you're offended. But it's not a cancelable offense. It's so ridiculous.
I don't know what this guy's deal is. I don't know why he's going after this guy. He's already gotten the guy's Patreon taken down, which is making it harder for him to afford insulin for his diabetic infant daughter. Nice fucking move.
Plague Moth, if you are watching us, I'm so sorry. And if there was a virtual big hug I can give you, I can do that, dude. Because I don't wish a father to be in this much suffering, especially when they have a sick child. And to you, that creepy reading, you can go fuck off. Because seriously, you know, I was actually looking at the comments section on your stream. Here, let me look at it, because I made sure to put some screenshots about that. There were people even calling you out for this shit, and rightfully so. There were people saying you didn't prove anything. Yeah, you barely proved exactly what you were claiming. And not to mention the fact that, what were the other things that commenters were saying too? There were a lot of people even saying a lot of people talk about disturbing subjects all the time. There's even gore that people do it all the time. There's been websites that have actually just shown gore that have no respect at all. Thank you so much for watching, and what do you think about the whole situation? I've unsubscribed to that creepy reading after this whole thing. All I gotta say is right now, that creepy reading, you need to stop. If you're not in jail for these false accusations, don't be surprised if people are going to censor you online for trying to censor Plague Moth, who was just making content. Now, granted, even if you don't like Plague Moth's content, you had no right to make those horrendous accusations without specific proof. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care. Have a good day.